Alright, hello everybody. Welcome to our next lesson here, looking at the lives of African Americans after the Civil War. So we have our objectives and standards to understand how the end of slavery impacted African Americans and to analyze the work of the Freedmen's Bureau. Take a moment there to read the standards if you would, please. And our desired result. How did life change for African Americans following the Civil War? So the end of slavery. Following the Civil War, the U.S. government used Reconstruction to help unite the country. Only a limited number of slaves were freed by the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863, and slavery continued to exist throughout the rest of the South. In January 1865, the 13th Amendment made slavery illegal throughout the entire country. Now, the passage of the amendment freed more than 3.5 million African Americans. However, many African Americans could still not vote and were not citizens. So, a new freedom. The end of slavery opened up a whole new world of opportunities for free African Americans. Many began to hold ceremonies to legalize their marriages, and they were also free to travel without passes and search for family members from slavery. They also took big steps to gain respect and equality, such as taking new last names and working for equal rights as well. So, expanding economic opportunities. Many African Americans no longer wanted to work on farms, or plantations. They began to look for work in better jobs. So, many moved to the cities in 1865 and 1870. And the African American population in cities doubled. Others moved to northern cities, started their own businesses, or worked as miners, cowboys, or soldiers. So, struggles in the South. Those who chose to remain in the South faced a lot of difficulty. They wanted to work hard, but they had very few belongings and very little money as well. This picture here kind of shows you how the South was devastated by the war, and the South tried to rebuild and struggled to rebuild after the war. Now, many African Americans were educated, had very little education, and they had very limited job opportunities because of this. Like I just mentioned earlier, the South's economy was destroyed during the war, which meant limited opportunities for both African Americans and also for whites as well. But there's going to be a boost from the Freedmen's Bureau. In March of 1865, the Bureau of Refugees, Freedmen, and Abandoned Lands was created. It was known more commonly as the Freedmen's Bureau. Now, its main goal was to provide relief to both whites and African Americans in the South. They provided food, clothing, fuel, and medical supplies, and 46 hospitals were also established by the Freedmen's Bureau by 1867. So, better education. The Freedmen's Bureau also helped with African Americans finding loved ones, such as former slaves, and with education. So, if you remember back to when we talked about slavery, slaves were denied education and very few could actually read or write. So the American Missionary Association and other northern groups started African American schools in Union-held areas of the South. Other former slaves, also helped establish schools as well. There were more than 4,000 African American schools that were founded by the Freedmen Bureaus, and volunteer teachers like Charlotte Fortine, her picture up here, and Susie King Taylor, mostly from the North, taught African Americans. However, white Southerners did not want African Americans to be educated, and they did attack students and teachers. Now, however, despite these attempts, there were 600,000 African American 600,000 African Americans in schools in the South by 1877. So, owning land. Many free African Americans wanted to own land, which was a symbol of independence. And the U.S. government is going to help by offering abandoned Confederate land that slaves could purchase. So more than 40,000 free African Americans were farming on the Sea Islands off the coast of Georgia and South Carolina, and African Americans felt it was fair that they receive Confederate land for all the years they had worked on them as slaves. In 1866, 800 free African Americans established a village called Slabtown in Hampton, Virginia. Now, although some radical Republicans proposed giving all of the Confederate land to African Americans, the idea never passed. But some African Americans did receive land from the Freedmen's Bureau. However, the U.S. also returned most of the land to the original white owners, and others had to then work on that land owned by white landowners as well. So struggles and success. 1866, Congress passed the Southern Homestead Act that set aside 45 million acres of public land in 5 southern states. White and African American farmers could obtain free 80-acre homesteads. However, very few free African Americans could afford the tools or supplies to work on a farm. Now, this law will later be repealed or removed in 1872. Some African Americans, like Isaiah T. Montgomery, did have success with this, but African Americans did face discrimination still in obtaining land when some whites would even refuse to sell them land at all. So our closure here, you can ignore the A, B, C, and D there, but how did life change for African Americans following the Civil War? Think about some of the things we talked about there. Obviously gaining freedom and gaining some more equality, but again, still facing struggles and discrimination. We can also think about how they began to own land, find new jobs. They also moved to the north. But again, a lot of big changes for African Americans following the Civil War, but even though they're going to kind of, look to improve their lives, they're still going to be held back in many different aspects, which we'll talk about later on as well. Alright, so please try your best on the questions that follow. I hope you have a great rest of your day or night, and I will talk to you all soon.